Hello, and welcome to the Theater Girl podcast. Before we get into episode 1, I just wanted to take the time to either introduce myself or reintroduce myself to those of you that already know me. A lot of you guys might know me from my last podcast where we talked about reality TV and pop culture. But before I got involved in that, I was and always will be and always have been a theater girl. I grew up doing theater throughout all of my childhood, throughout high school, throughout college. I even at some point in my life considered doing it professionally several times until life rerouted me in different directions. That's actually kind of how I got involved in podcasting. During the pandemic, obviously there were no auditions happening, no live performances happening, and I was really struggling with not having a creative outlet, which is how I fell into podcasting to begin with. And then obviously, as you guys know, She's All Batch took off and kind of totally rerouted me down a different path for the past few years. So this kind of feels like a homecoming to me, coming back to my roots, and I'm really excited to share this other aspect of my life with you guys. Aside from being a theater girl and a performer in the earlier parts of my life, I obviously live in New York and I try to see almost everything that is on Broadway in any given season. And so in this podcast, I plan on talking about all aspects of Broadway and theater. I want to be going to see shows and taking you guys along and talking about them. I want to be interviewing Broadway actors and people in the industry. And then also too, I want to have conversations about like the very unique experience it is growing up in a theater community and growing up as a theater kid, because I feel like it is a very unique culture and community, and there's also a lot of trauma packed in there, and I feel like that's not really a conversation that's being had in a mainstream way. But the more I talk to other friends that went through this or had similar upbringings as me, we all kind of have a lot of the same stories. So whether you are a current, former, aspiring, recovering theater girl, I want this show to be for you. For the first episode, I knew the only way to seamlessly transition from reality TV to Broadway was to do an episode with my former co-host, Stefanie Parker, and we are going to be talking all about Whitney Leavitt and Mark Ballas in Chicago on Broadway. Because truly, what a perfect way to seamlessly transition from reality TV to Broadway. It kind of dabbles in both topics. Stefanie and I went to go see the show together, and this episode is going to be all about our thoughts and reactions and reviewing the experience seeing the show with Whitney and Mark. Something I also wanted to note too, keep in mind, guys, that we saw the show last week and recorded shortly after. So obviously we were not aware of during closing night, Whitney was going to announce in the show that she was actually leaving Mormon Wives. Not a huge deal, but I just kind of wanted to timestamp where we were when we recorded this, because there might be a few sentences that are not understanding where we are in present day. But yeah, so without further ado, I will let you guys get into the episode. If you have been with me for a while and have been sticking around, I just want to say thank you so much. It truly means so much more to me than you guys, I think, even know. It's not lost on me that people who kind of are in a certain niche when it comes to content are not always given the grace and the growth to be able to move into something else. So if you are from She's All Batch and planning to stick around on this next journey with me, like truly from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And if you're new here and you are discovering me and you're joining the community for the first time, thank you so much for checking me out and taking a chance on me. It's a really big, intimidating mountain to launch an entire show by yourself, an entire brand by yourself, but I'm really excited for what's to come, and I am just so happy that you guys have chosen to stay along for the journey. So with that being said, let's get into episode 1 of Theater Girl.
I'm honestly honored that you wanted me, of all people, to be on the first episode.
You act as if I have like all of these people banging down my door to be like part of this non-existent podcast that doesn't exist until today, that it's now released.
It does exist. If you're listening to this right now, it is a full-blown real podcast. So I'm honored, to be chosen.
So for this first episode, I just knew not only did I want the first episode to be with me and Stefanie, I felt that we needed to go see Chicago on Broadway because it is now starring Whitney from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and our bad person at Traders, but good actor and dancer, Mr. Mark Ballas from Dancing with the Stars. You forgot that we watch him. That's like kind of all I know him from, because I don't really watch Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, well, I told you, Mark Ballas was on my like dream list. Like 10 years ago, I made like a manifestation list, and my dream, I just want a dance lesson with him once. I just think he's phenomenal. And he was.
He was so good. And we'll get into it. Tell us a little bit about your background, because you are a secret theater girl and the people don't know about that.
It's not like it's not secret. It's not like this deep, dark secret I've been hiding for years. But yeah, no, all through high school mostly and college, I always did the plays. I did musical theater. I was in like a co-ed show choir dance troupe that we that we traveled. Yeah, and
Are you a
I
good
performed
singer?
in Disney. No.
Oh, but you were in the show choir.
You've heard me sing.
But only jokingly singing. Like I feel like I jokingly like sing on the podcast, but like that's not my true voice.
Okay, well here's the thing. When I jokingly sing, that is like the best I could do. So if you think it's a joke, that just shows how bad of a singer I actually am. No, I was never the singer. I always was like the dancer. And then I did acting, although I don't think I'm good at that either, but I did it anyway.
I'm sure you are good at it in a way.
Well, let's go pull out the VHS if you want to see my high school senior play.
Yeah, what was the senior play?
The senior one, I was the lead in. It was Rumors by is it Neil Simon?
Know. Oh, he is a playwright. I am like starting this theater podcast and I'm like, yes, someone wrote a play. That sounds correct.
I was just a dancer in Rocky Horror in college. And I just did a bunch of other things. And then the singing, dancing, show choir thing, we did all types of music. So I wish we did Chicago music, but that at the time, this is dating me, but at the time the movie was just coming out. And I remember I told you this, my high school chorus director, he was obsessed with Chicago and Catherine Zeta-Jones. And that's how he always, like, that style of dancing he always wanted us to do, and we would. But I'm like, why couldn't you have just given us that music? I would have loved to do that, but it was, like, brand new at the time. So I don't know if you can get the rights at the time.
Well, the movie had just come out. But the show, okay, so what people don't realize about Chicago is this production of Chicago is actually a revival of Chicago. Chicago the play came out in like the 70s for a few years, and then this revival has been the same revival since 1996. It's been running for 30 years, which is kind of crazy, but it's crazy to me that this is like a reiteration of something that was already done, because this version I feel like is so iconic with like the black and the minimalism, but it wasn't always like that.
I didn't know that. I didn't know this is something that dated that far back, but that's the type of knowledge I'm going to get from the Theater Girl podcast.
Oh, yes.
I'm so here for this.
No, it's an interesting show, and I'm so glad that we saw it, because I had said this to you when we were going to see it. I had seen it once back in high school, moved on with my life, but it's been running here in New York this whole time. It's always been there, but I feel like I kind of take it for granted because it's just like been on for so long. Everyone knows the movie. All the songs are so iconic. But I'm so glad that we went to revisit it, because it actually, guys, I don't know if you know this, Chicago is actually that girl. Like, it is so good. I had such a better time than I thought I was going to have at the show, honestly. Not that I thought it was going to be like not good, but I feel like I was reminded of how iconic it was.
Sure, that's surprising, because like I thought you would go into it knowing it would be iconic, but also, does the full bottle of champagne have anything to do with how much you enjoyed it?
Yeah, but I think I would have enjoyed it regardless. Like,
yes.
The energy was kind of electric from the audience, especially for a matinee at like 2 p.m. Like, people were ready to rage, I feel like. For Mark Ballas specifically, which I did not estimate.
No, and he is a star. Like you said, like he comes out, and I was trying to think, because I wasn't sure what questions you were going to throw my way, but I was thinking, if you asked me like what my favorite song or moment from the show, it would probably be anything that Mark led.
I know.
And those aren't the best songs of the show. Like, what's his main All I Care About Is Love?
Yeah, that's the first one.
I think that's
he does.
His first song he does. He comes out, everyone goes nuts and screams for him, but his stage presence is insane. And BDE, even though
really, you're getting
BDE
from him
in this show, yes.
I just feel
maybe
like
it's the character, maybe it's Billy Flynn, I don't know, but Mark Ballas gives me BDE.
He's just so in his element, and it's shocking to me that he doesn't do more Broadway. Like, I don't think this was his Broadway debut, but like, I don't think he doesn't really like do that often. This was a big deal, I think, for him to do it, and he's in such a limited run.
Well, yeah, he only has so much time of the year, because come end of August, September, that's when Dancing with the Stars is back in, and the man has to take a break eventually, so I'm sure.
Yeah. I think the thing with Chicago too that I think is so interesting, and why like I feel like it ties in so well to like what we used to talk about on She's All Bach and reality TV stuff, is that like the reason why it's been able to run for so long, aside from the fact that like it's a pretty minimal show, right? Like there's no big sets or anything. Like everyone's kind of in the same costumes. It's very cheap to like run, which is why I think it's gotten away with being able to run as long as it has. But also they're known for doing stunt casting, right? And recently they've just been stunt casting like reality Bravo stars, and the meta-ness of that, of putting a reality star in this show when the entire show is about taking a scandal and manipulating it to become famous, and then like having your 15 minutes of fame for like committing a crime and then like being shocked and surprised when that slowly fades away. And to keep putting reality stars in that, to me, makes Chicago high art in a way that I feel like people don't give it enough credit for.
For sure. And I didn't even realize that before Ariana Madix, there were others. Like, I didn't realize Rumor Willis was Roxy. There's, where did I see this? I guess there was a picture that Whitney Leavitt recently posted, and it shows all of the names of everyone who's played Roxy. So I see Whitney, and then I see Ariana, but then I'm like, oh, who else would I know? And I saw Rumor Willis. There's definitely been other
everyone and their mom. I mean, other Bravo people I can think of off the top of my head. Erica from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills did it a few years ago. Lisa Rinna did it in like 1990 something, or maybe early 2000s. Like, ugh, what a lady.
That's iconic. What can't that woman do?
No,
though,
she really is like such a showgirl through and through. Like Lisa Rinna, I feel like just understands the entertainment industry in a way that people don't give her enough credit for sometimes. Like she just understands the assignment, I feel like, with every single thing that she does. But they throw anyone in there these days. But the thing that's good about this show is like the part of Roxy, I feel like why they're able to get away with stunting these people who are not traditionally like musical theater performers is like it's not that challenging of a part too. Like all the songs are kind of low.
Wait, you think that?
Yeah, you do. It's challenging. Maybe there's a lot of dancing, but even so,
I can't be Roxy.
Yes, no, but that's the thing is like you could. I firmly, with my heart of hearts, believe you could step into the role of Roxy Hart. The songs are not that high.
I mean, Funny Honey.
Exactly.
Funny Honey's low enough. But her other one.
She's not belting. And it was really like eye-opening to me comparing, like, obviously Whitney is not a trained singer. We knew this going into the show. But like the actress playing Velma Kelly is like wiping the floor with anyone who's playing Roxy, like vocally and dancing wise. Like all the hard dancing Velma gets. All the hard singing Velma gets.
You don't think that Whitney was like
she was
fabulous?
really good? I think so, but I wouldn't say she was a singer.
You did. I thought she sounded.
She
great,
she did it, but you don't feel like comparing her singing to like Velma was like night and day. I was like, oh, that's a professional. That's a musical theater actress. Really?
No, I feel like, but because the only difference, which is a lot of difference, I guess, but like Whitney has all the skills and the talent. She just found herself on a different path of life and ended up on a reality show. This person who played Velma probably studied it and probably, went through years and years of auditions and all that jazz. But that doesn't mean that Whitney isn't on the same level. She maybe just doesn't have the background that she has. Like,
right. No, I would say Whitney does have raw talent for sure. But I would argue I didn't feel that she came off as like a trained singer, and that's okay because she's not.
Interesting. But you're also you go to plays once a week. This is the first play I've seen in like over a decade. So it's been a while. And I will say about what you said regarding the play, it's very minimalistic. That is something that stood out to me because I was like, whoa. And then to be clear, I loved the show, but I'm like, wait a second. They didn't even like when they're in jail and Mama comes out and like, had I not known the movie, I'd be
what's
like,
going on?
What is going on? Like, why couldn't they at least pull out like bar cells or something to make them look like they're in jail? And then I thought after, I'm like, wait, there was no set.
None. Yeah.
Like nothing.
I was thinking maybe you wouldn't like it because of that, because you had said you love the movie so much. And I feel like the movie is so glitz
I didn't love
and
that
glam.
part. You kept saying that. Yeah, you're like, are you liking it? It's not as glitz and glam
Yeah.
as the movie. I still liked it. I could
Of
still
course.
appreciate the show. But if I were to make a pros and cons list, that would be a con, but not a con that made or broke it. Just something I noticed. And then the fact that they don't do any job at telling the story. Like, you go in and you better know that story because you're going to be lost. It's not clear that she kills someone and then she wants to be famous. Like, you kind of pick up on it a little bit, but like, I knew.
Yeah. And something else I kind of noticed watching it when we saw it too is like, there's pretty minimal dialogue or scenes even in between. It's really just
That's
like
what I'm
hit
saying.
after hit after hit after hit after hit. And because the music is so iconic, like I'm like, oh yay, my song's on, my song. But yeah, there's not really scenes taking you through. It's just like song after song. But I guess like a lot of musicals are
Right,
like
and, like,
that, you know?
Sure. And like, that's what I'm saying. I'm coming from a place of someone
Yeah.
I have not seen one in a very long time, but like Cell Block Tango, it's a bunch of women in jail telling the stories of how they murdered their husbands. If I was, first of all, yeah, I would not have been able to pick up on the fact that they were even in jail, let alone these are all women who are guilty, but he had it coming, so it was okay. I don't know. There's just a lot there that if I was more of a newbie, I would
For sure. And I do wonder how that played before the movie. Because now I feel like anyone goes into the show and they've seen the movie, which is an interesting way that Broadway in general, I feel like has to kind of like almost answer to movies and Hollywood. I've seen that in Wicked in the past like year or so, because you guys know I've seen Wicked a lot of times. But now that the movie is out, I hear people going into the theater saying different things and like appreciating different things or noticing different things that they never would have talked about if the movie didn't exist. And that's like a whole interesting balance of it too, I think.
There's also, I don't know what came first because I didn't know the play was before the movie now.
Yeah.
But there was also like lines of dialogue that were exactly the same. Like, suppose he came in and violated her or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Violated her or something. It was the exact same line and the exact same delivery as John O'Reilly. Is that John C. Reilly?
Yeah, who plays Amos in the movie? I honestly don't even remember.
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly.
Yeah. But it was the exact same. I called him O'Reilly. It was the same like cadence of the line and the exact same line. There was a lot of that I thought was interesting. And I wasn't sure if they were giving a nod to the movie or if the play came, like if the movie kind of took from the play originally.
Which probably, yeah. And I guess there's also an element to it too, because there aren't even that many scenes that like so much of the dialogue is like written in music where like they don't even have much flexibility on how they can say it. But yeah, I would say.
And that is a song.
Right. So I would say maybe it's the movie taking from the show, and then the show just always has to do it the same way every single time they do it. But you liked it overall. I don't know why I was so worried that you weren't going to.
I don't know why either. And I loved little things like with Whitney Leavitt, she picks up a newspaper and like Roxy Hart is front page of the newspaper. She's like, look, there I am right next to those Mormon wives. And that gets like a laugh. Like I like the little nod to why she's here in the first place.
And I feel like that just like speaks to like the bigger theme of the show. And that's where I'm like, guys, people are not giving Chicago enough credit for being like art and having something to say. I don't know. I feel like especially a lot of like theater snobs like look down on Chicago as just like, oh, that like silly play that's been running this whole time, and they just keep stunt casting it so that they think it's not like highbrow because of that. But I'm like, no, you guys are not reading in between the lines. Like the show does have something to say. It's not just like gimmicky stunt casting. The stunt casting plays a purpose in a way that stunt casting does not play a purpose in any other Broadway show, but yet other Broadway shows do it all the time.
Yeah, I wonder if I would have liked it as much. I mean, I always liked the soundtrack, so it was going to be really hard for me not to like it. But if Mark and Whitney, they made it more entertaining. Sure. I very much liked watching them, especially Mark. Like, I think he should just like quit Dancing with the Stars and go
be a full Broadway star
to Broadway.
Yeah.
But also I sent you that Demois said that Maura, my girl, Maura Higgins, was potentially in the audience.
Yeah.
Imagine if we
know.
saw her.
And
I would have died. And I was wearing my Maura
yes,
jacket.
you were. You looked just like Maura. Maybe it was you in the photo. And they just got
It was
confused.
me.
And they were like, guys, Maura's here.
Yes. Right. And I'm like, guys, no, it's just me.
There were 2 shows that day. So I wonder if it was the night one or the one that we were at, because we saw the matinee, which I typically don't like to do for a couple reasons. One, because they're doing multiple shows per day. So I feel like the first show of the day, they're going to be more like tired. And then also there's something about like going in the daytime that it like you go and you sit in the dark. It's like going to the movies in the middle of the day where you're like, I'm sitting in the dark. My brain says nighttime, like shows should be nighttime. But obviously like for scheduling purposes, it just made sense for us to go to this show. But I didn't feel that way when we were there, because I feel like the energy was so electric for 2 p.m. on a Sunday. People were like so excited to see Whitney and Mark, and they really did make it. And maybe that's why when I first saw Chicago with just random people, I just was like, okay, fine, and then never went back 15, 20 years after. So Whitney like lived up to your expectations of what you felt she would do.
Yes. Oh, she's a star. And like, I know she's saying, so now her run, by the time
Yeah.
this comes out, like her
Yeah.
run's going to be over, right? And that's a bummer, but I do know she has other things she wants to do. I don't think she's going back to Mormon Wives, but I think she belongs
On stage.
On stage. I think she's really, really talented.
But what else could she play? That's where I'm like you like these people come in and they do Roxy, but I don't know if that can like translate to anything else. Like Ariana Madix is never going to be on Broadway again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I guess though, like, it's a lot of work.
It is.
You don't have a lot of free time, and you would know more than me, but don't they not get paid?
No,
all that
not
much either?
compared to like a movie
how do you
or like
justify?
probably reality TV. She's making way more than, I mean, you have to really love
Right.
it, I think. Overall though, like I feel like we did have such a fun day in general. Like the show was just part of it, but I hadn't like seen you in person since when? You know what's so crazy?
Vegas?
I've known you for years and worked with you, and we've been like so close. Like we literally talk every single day, but I can probably count on one hand the amount of times we've been in person together.
That's not. It's been more than one.
I think,
hand.
but
'Cause I
okay,
can
but do you
name
count like okay,
Vegas,
but do you count
Vegas,
Vegas as a
AC
one instance,
yesterday.
even though that's like an entire weekend? Okay, but
Yeah,
then I actually
the
think
one
maybe
trip.
5. No, all right, maybe 7.
Okay, Vegas, AC, the play.
When we did our live show,
Then our live show
when we first
you
recorded,
came over. That's
there was
already two hands.
Yeah, we did merch photos once.
Oh, when you merch photos, then when we did the recording.
Okay,
Long
so
Island.
so
All right,
2
we're getting
hands.
close to 2
But
hands.
still, like we
2 hands.
don't spend enough time actually just like being friends and hanging out. And I feel like Sunday we had such a fun day together. I didn't know if we were gonna like have a day after the show, because like the show's at 2, it ends maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock. I thought maybe then like you would,
It was 2.5 hours.
I think about right.
Really? I had no concept of time by that point, Jackie. I was very like, what the fuck ever. Yeah, you were like, do you want to like go do something? And I'm like, yeah, why not? Meanwhile, my husband's calling me and he's like, you've been gone since 9 a.m. Like, it's 6. You're still in the city? And I'm like, yeah, what's the problem? I'm like, of course I'm in the city.
No, we had such a day. But yeah, I guess I didn't know if we would. Like I thought maybe after the show it would be like, okay, like bye. But what did we do then? We bounced around to a few different bars. We went downtown. We ended up at the West Village. Why did we end up at Marie's Crisis? I'm so sorry for taking you there, because that's just not... I have a problem.
Well, I was trying to find Jackie a guy, and then she kept going in like the theater district, and I'm just like, I don't...
I know, you kept saying, you were like, if this was just a normal day in New York, like, and you were going to like meet guys, where would you go? And I'm like, I don't know. The only people I hang out with are like gay men and girls. And I go to Marie's Crisis Cafe, the piano bar, where it's just like gay men around a piano. And you were like, Jackie, we're not going to meet a guy here, which is correct. Not a straight one for sure.
You may meet a straight musical theater loving man who may be what you need. Like a guy that loves musicals just as much as you could do, and then he could be theater boy.
Oh my God, that would be cute. I've given this some deep, deep thought because I would like to have a partner that would want to go see shows with me and be able to talk about it enthusiastically. Like, I don't want it to be a chore. Like my ex-boyfriend from years ago, he hated it. He would go sometimes because I like really wanted to go, but he was just like so obviously bored. And talk about theater etiquette and getting up at like wrong times and stuff.
Oh yes,
he used to like get up as if we're like at a baseball game. You know, if you're at a baseball game, you're like, oh, I need another drink. Oh, I'm gonna go get a snack, and you just get up while the game is happening because it's a baseball game and it's not that deep. He would be sitting at like Rent at the Pantages Theater and be getting up in the middle of songs to like get more wine, and I'm like, you can't do that. I think you have one opportunity at some point throughout the show to get up to go to the bathroom if it's a real emergency, but otherwise like sit your ass down before intermission.
Yes, you did tell that story when we did bad date horror stories on She's All Batch, so I vividly remember this guy.
Right.
And that's, it would be great for you to have someone who like genuinely enjoys it.
However, though, if he is someone who grew up doing theater and he's a straight man and he's relatively good looking, I'm assuming because I'm dating him, like he has like an ego and a complex, like, you know, like the toxic like straight boys that are in theater and they think they can get any girl in the world because they can, because they're the only straight boy in the play. I just don't think that ever leaves you, and that is something that I don't think I can deal with. You're a straight good looking man and you do theater, you can have your pick of any girl in the world. Why would you pick me? I would get like insecure, I think.
Oh no, and they would pick you because you're wonderful and fabulous. You just haven't met them yet.
I just think they have too many options.
Yeah, maybe in the play in 12th grade, but like
at the cast party.
Now they'd actually need to go out and find, I
don't know. I don't think I would trust that man. And that's why I'm like, maybe I need like something theater adjacent, like a musician or something.
Or like a director, a PA, or maybe someone who works. We should go frequent those places.
Where are those PAs going on a Sunday afternoon?
Where's the PA hotspot? I don't know, but I'm like, Jackie, where would you go on a normal Sunday? It's a beautiful day out.
And I'm like, Marie's Crisis, the dingy basement from 1885.
It literally was a basement and like wonderful place. But if you're looking
to meet a man,
to have a boy buy you drinks, I don't know if that's the place you would go.
Right? Sure, a boy would buy us drinks maybe, but it would be a gay boy because he likes our singing. Which
right, well, he wouldn't like mine.
Right.
He'd like your singing.
And then at that point, we were like, okay, it's time to go. And then you called an Uber and went home.
You and I both. Yeah. There's like so many. There were so many conversations I felt I started, but I have no I don't think I finished a lot of thoughts.
Like what?
Like I think we both. I don't even know. But like we were both like talking or sharing things, and then my memory would stop, and I'm like, I don't know if I actually even closed the loop on many things, and I didn't even talk to you about it off air.
Are there loops you want to close? We don't have to close them publicly, but we can circle back after we get off.
There's no loops I want to close, but I was trying to think. Like, you know, when you have a day like that and then you think back and you're like, well, what did we talk about? And then you try to run through, oh, yeah, I remember saying this.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, did I ever get to the point of like why I brought certain things up? And I don't think I did, but I also don't think it mattered because we ate Pringles and that's...
I know. I think
and
what
had,
we
like,
should have done after the show is like gone to dinner and then we could have gone out to a bar or something after, but like given ourselves another solid meal for the day because our one meal was brunch.
Yeah. And we literally I tried to order a little snickety snook cheese platter.
Oh yeah.
At one
and
of
that
the places
was horrible.
We went to. Guys, you know the size of like a salad plate? It was smaller than that. And a guy comes up to us, like not even on like a little tray or anything, just like a smaller salad plate with like 3 crackers and like 2 pieces of cheese. And I'm like, oh, this is how it is in Manhattan though.
And it probably
what did
was
I
like
expect?
$45, like way too much
I think
money.
It was only 20. It was such a steal when you think about it. But
steal.
for what we got.
No, I feel like I do remember that being like 2 cheeses and one of them was a cheese I don't like. It was like a stinky blue. So, but all things considered, such a fun day. I was thinking like we should do that more often. What show should we see next? I was saying Titanic could be, I think, the next one for you. And you guys will hear all about it on the pod. Yeah. If you guys don't know. What?
Oh, I thought you said I thought you meant they're going to hear all about it because you're going to cover it. But you mean for me?
I don't know. Maybe. Only if you want or not. Yeah. If you're all played out at this point, we can wait another 10 years to see your next Broadway show.
No, I can also just come into the city
and we can just hang out. We don't have to see
other
a show.
Days too.
For sure.
Because I was really excited about Chicago. I've also seen Hairspray, which I always loved the music in that. Lion King. You asked me if I would see Cats.
Okay, I understand the sentiment when someone initially says Cats. All I'll say is this is a different Cats. Like what they're doing at that Jellicle Ball is revolutionary, and I'm actually very excited to cover it on this podcast. I think that's also going to be one of my first few episodes.
Oh shit.
Okay. Just don't knock it till you try it. Don't judge a cat by its cover.
I'm not. I think as a 90s kid, I have such a vivid memory of the commercial.
For Cats, yeah.
And they're like, go see Cats. And it's just people dressed as cats and no one's talking. They're just like clawing at the screen. And I'm like 7 years old looking at that commercial being like, what is this play about? I still don't know.
It's about cats. Yes. Well, there's no plot.
Talking?
There's definitely no talking. There's no plot. It's based off of a book of poems. And it's all the cats just like introducing themselves. And then one gets picked by by the head cat to get reincarnated at the end.
Yeah, maybe
However,
maybe cover that one with someone else.
But this one is taking that whole concept, but then reimagining it through like a drag ballroom culture vibe. So they're not actually cats. They're all just like decked out in amazing, like colorful costumes and doing like their introductions as all the different people. And it's way more fun. And there's like disco balls and it's fine. It might still not be for you, but I for some reason, this production like made the weirdest show in the world work and like actually be artistic and actually like have something to say when you look at it through a different lens. I saw it at like when it was off Broadway before it came to the Great White Way, but now it's like everyone's talking about it, so I will be talking about Cats. Don't you guys worry.
Oh, two things. Well, one, talk about starting a thought and then never finishing it. I definitely brought up to you that Nia from Dance Moms is on an off-Broadway show. But I don't think we ever figured out what it was. I could send it to you, but I think that would be one. I would love to see her. And then I forgot, it definitely has been less than 10 years because my husband got me tickets to see Mean Girls, the musical.
Oh, fun. Did you like it?
Which I did see with him. Yes. Yeah. A couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So
that was like
within the last 5 years.
18?
But that's not out.
Not anymore. No. It closed.
Okay.
Yeah.
To be honest, it wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but it was cute and fun.
100%. I would agree with that take of Mean Girls as well.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah. Really fun songs. Like I went through a phase where I would always be recording myself singing like the Regina George songs. It's like kind of, I can't listen to them anymore because it reminds me of when I was just like in a bad phase of my life, like singing Regina George songs all the time. Yeah, I don't know. We were looking when we were at brunch of like what shows are out now that I feel like you would like. Not there's a lot of new ones, but not as many. I feel like that are so like fun.
Yeah, well, let's see who ends up replacing Whitney.
Yeah, I don't even think they've announced it yet, and it's like, don't they need to? It's happening in a week.
Well, if they don't replace her with like a reality star, can't they just cast? Do you think people in the Broadway universe are mad that celebrities are getting these
yes
roles?
And no. That's a big conversation that people have a lot. I think the common consensus though is like, sure, is stunt casting not great because that's taking away a role for someone who's probably trained for it and is like more qualified? Yeah, however, if that's going to be able to keep shows running and get people in seats to then employ all these other performers in Chicago, then maybe it's not necessarily a horrible thing. That's kind of my position of it, right? Like it's getting people to see theater that wouldn't necessarily see theater. They're going to see like their favorite star for whatever. And I think the industry kind of like depends on that now at this point. It's hard to get people in seats and to spend like Broadway tickets are not cheap. To spend a lot of money, I think people are really skeptical to take a risk on something that they don't know they would necessarily like. And you can guarantee that they would like it if it's a person that they want to see at the very least.
Well, that's something I definitely asked you on Sunday as well, because you go so frequently and you're risking, you never know if you're going to like something or not. And it's not like you're dropping $30 like at a movie. Although, didn't you say movies in Manhattan are like 50?
No, like I would say 30. Yeah. I actually just got tickets for Devil Wears Prada 2 and they were 25 each.
What a steal.
A steal.
Wow.
Wait, why did you giggled when I said that? You don't want to see Devil Wears Prada 2?
No, this is just so your thing. And I think I said, I was like, yeah, but you're like going to all these shows after work when you could just go home and scroll on your phone. And you're like, yeah, but I like doing it. And I just was like so confused. You have the freedom to go back to your gorgeous apartment.
I spend many a time sitting in my apartment scrolling on my phone. Like, don't you worry.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, but some days I do try to go see a little snickety snook showy show. But I don't spend a lot of money on tickets, especially if I'm like going day of after work or something. Like there are a lot of hacks to get like very discounted tickets, whether it's doing a rush thing or I don't know if I should expose myself in this way, but I still have my student ID from Boston University. And so and there's no year on it. So I am going to be getting like student discount tickets until I don't look like that anymore, I guess. But so far, so good.
I hope for this podcast that you can
just get comped tickets.
Leverage this. Yeah. I mean, if you're, look, I'm going to cover your show.
I hope so too. That's a goal as well. Any final thoughts on Chicago, Whitney, Mark? I think my final thought is Mark is a star. And I just like, I knew he would be amazing. But I think it was also really surprising to me to see how much more people were cheering for Mark than they were for Whitney. And I thought everyone was here for Whitney, but it seemed like people were here for Mark.
Yeah. No, I clocked that as well. He is a star. I think she's a star. I think it's funny that you don't think she's as much of a star. I think she looked so natural on stage. Even honestly, she's a phenomenal dancer. But her acting too, I actually felt like her acting was very good.
I would agree with that. I do think her acting was great. She hit a lot of like cutie little moments too, like big personality wise and like big facial expressions, which I feel like work for Roxy.
And coming from like the person who was not very liked on Mormon Wives, and actually the whole thing with Dancing with the Stars, she was with Mark. Everyone dubbed them to be the winners of the season long before the season was over. And then something happened. Like Mormon Wives was airing at the same time and it wasn't painting Whitney in a good light. So then people didn't want her to win Dancing with the Stars, even though everyone felt she should have won.
Did they not like her because she was like wanting to do these opportunities? Because I thought that's what she had said, like to do the last season of Mormon Wives. She was like, I'll do it, but you're putting me on Dancing with the Stars. Which I'm like, okay, good. Get what you want. Yes, 100%. Leverage an opportunity for a greater opportunity towards your goals. I think that's amazing.
Yes, because the worst they can say is no.
Right.
So you might as well ask.
It's true. Stefanie taught me that just on Sunday, guys. Because
I've taught you that for the
I know, but just to see it in action, it amazes me every time. I think for two things. You were getting Prosecco and you were like, okay, but can you open a new bottle so that it's not maybe like flat? And the guy was like, you know what? Yeah. And then we got a special treatment to go to a secret bathroom. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah. And
during intermission when the line was out the door.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, I literally, well, I was thinking that when you were talking about your ex-boyfriend who got up during, but also had we got up like 2 seconds prior to intermission, we probably could have beat the line that was literally wrapped around the entire thing. Like people weren't back from the bathroom when intermission was done. That's how long it was.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But we found a secret bathroom.
Yes. All because Stefanie asked. Ask, and you shall receive.
But the guy could have been like, no, like go wait online like a normal person. He's like, all right, fine, come here.
Yeah.
So what was that? Oh, Whitney. So she put it out there. She wanted it. And they could have said no, but they didn't.
Right.
So yeah, I don't really remember the reason why people were mad at her at the time. And I also don't understand how they were successful in getting her voted off, because it's not like Dancing with the Stars, you vote people off. You just don't vote for them.
Right.
Like you know what I mean? Like, so what did all the people do? Like join together and purposely vote like Robert Irwin to ensure that Whitney,
like maybe, or just like there weren't enough people coming out to vote for her because she didn't have as many fans.
Right. But I'm like, how do you join together and do that? Like,
right.
I guess maybe if you vote like everyone votes for like the next person in the bottom. Like if there's the bottom six, everyone joined together to vote like the next one to ensure that Whitney and Mark went home. But I remember when they went home, it was like a big deal. Like people were like, this is insane. They should not be going home. And
right.
That's how this all kind of transpired.
So interesting. Yeah. Why do people hate a woman who's ambitious?
Well, they don't.
They don't. But why? Just because she got Roxy on Broadway and they're like, oh, we don't hate you anymore.
I feel like they always come around. Just like, not to make this pop culture, but like Hailey Bieber. Yeah. Now it's like acceptable to like her. And even she spoke out and said like, save it. Like my therapy's already paid for. You already put me through enough. Like, then this is not her words, but like, it's great that you like me now, but you put me through hell for years. Right. So like, I think people always come around. I think now looking back, no one really sees a problem with, I don't know, her wanting to be on Dancing with the Stars. I do think she was the villain though, season 1, that I don't really quite remember why. Like she feuded with Taylor, Frankie Paul, a lot in the beginning.
Well, and maybe it's also like another layer to this of like people coming around differently for Taylor too, and seeing all the ways that she's still struggling and getting involved in things. And so like, because I feel like Taylor was like very beloved, and then like, you know, she still is, but like we know how that story went. Yes.
And people like Whitney so much now that they're saying that she may get a spinoff with her family.
In LA, and just like doing like the showbiz thing.
I don't know. I would have loved to see it like in New York.
Yeah.
Like see her go to rehearsals, come home like she's with the husband and the kids, but then she has a matinee, and like I don't know. I would have loved to see that. But yeah, maybe good. Something in LA.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. And thank you, Stefanie, for joining the first ever episode of this Theater Girl pod. We're on a new journey. I'm excited, but definitely like it feels bittersweet, and also just like, I don't know, starting a whole new show and taking on a whole new thing is like intimidating and scary. And I love that the first episode I could have my comfort blanket, like my emotional support, Stefanie.
Literally. Yeah. No, and I cannot wait to see this take off and everyone support you. Definitely subscribe, guys. If you're listening, I want to like help plug
follow,
you.
Subscribe. I'm like, follow me at @JackMooney_. Follow Stefanie at She's All Batch. Follow at Theater Girl Pod on all the things: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
Maybe a little incentive to follow on Theater Girl Pod. Maybe you should share
our ridiculous,
maybe an edited version of our TikToks that we made, because they're quite embarrassing when you look at them sober.
Yeah.
But when we were in the city, we were like, this is fabulous.
No, you were like, Jackie, you look amazing. And all I'm doing is like flipping my hair. Basically, we did several takes of both of us running down the streets of Manhattan singing like the main like hook of all that jazz of like the, oh, I'm no one's wife, but oh, I love my life. And we're just like sprinting down a New York City street. People are walking, giving us weird looks, but we're just like dancing and throwing our hair and flipping our hair. And at the time we're like, this is incredible. We're stars. We look so great. And I looked at them the next day and I was just like, we're so dumb, but it was so much fun. I don't even care. And so I will post those. I'll post one of me.
Yeah. Or I was going to say, because we both did the same take, maybe you can
combine them.
go back and forth. Like go one,
a
you know what I
little
mean?
toggle.
Because then when it's like weird of me, it may be a better shot
Right,
of you and
right.
vice versa. Because also like not only were we a mess on screen, the person behind the camera was also like tripping over things and all that jazz.
And all that jazz.
Do you want to make your signature send off? Like this is like
I know, but I don't
you
think
don't
I
want
have
to.
one. What should my signature send off be? And all that jazz? I'll leave you guys with these final words of inspiration that I think everyone should embody. Oh, I'm no one's wife, but oh, I love my life and all that jazz.
That jazz. Love
Inspirational.
it. Thank you again for
Of
having me.
course. Thanks for listening, guys. See you next time. Bye.